The fentanyl crisis continues to devastate families all across America, including here in Keloland.
If you ask the experts, they will tell you there are no easy answers. They say we are starting to make strides in fighting the fentanyl crisis, but yet a lot more needs to be done.
Keloland's Don Jorgensen attended a roundtable discussion today on fentanyl that was hosted by Congressman Dusty Johnson.
Yeah, the roundtable discussion, it lasted about an hour with input from law enforcement officials, politicians, and even family members who've been impacted directly by this deadly epidemic. They focus on three main areas: the problem, solutions, and the prevention, because, as they say, we can't arrest our way out of this. We know fentanyl is everywhere in the U.S.
I fear we become almost numbed to it, and we just can't afford to have that be the case.
That's why today's roundtable discussion on fentanyl first focused on the problem and where the supply is coming from. Minnehaha County Sheriff Mike Milstead chairs the National Sheriff's Drug Enforcement Committee that represents over 3,000 of the nation's sheriffs.
I would say probably 90% of the fentanyl and methamphetamine that's in South Dakota today comes from, starts, at least the fentanyl, comes as a precursor from China. It goes to Mexico, where drug cartels, in particular the two major ones, will either make it into powder, or they'll synthesize it, or they'll stamp it into counterfeit pills.
Milstead says it's been flooding into the U.S. and even into Keloland at an unprecedented rate. Last year, 8 people died in Minnehaha County due to fentanyl poisoning. Congressman Dusty Johnson offers a partial solution to the crisis with a few new laws.
This is a little bit of a scoop because they have not been introduced yet this Congress. One codifies severe sanctions against the Chinese Communist Party, party officers, government officials that we know have either turned a blind eye toward these precursor chemicals or have actively been involved in facilitating their shipment to North America.
The second proposed law he's offering would go after the ships that are bringing fentanyl into the U.S. with other legitimate commercial goods.
Which means we can use that legal framework at our ports to say, we know you have been bad boys and bad girls. Thousands have died because of you, and we will hit you, Americans will hit you, with a new substantial port fee or penalty because of your failure to do enough to stop this.
And the roundtable discussion also brought up the fact that even if we could stop fentanyl from coming into the U.S. today, there's already enough supply of it here being stored that would last at least a decade.